done and have happy hour in a little bit. So we have a couple gentlemen joining us today for the producer panel. Jessica, Brian Schroeder, Larry Zobel, and Alan Richards. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then Jason Owen will moderate the discussion for us. Oh, and then we will have some videos playing up in the back of their barns. So we'll start.
Hey, I'm Alan Richards from Beaver Crossing, Nebraska. We built 2 bed packs chasms as an expansion. We still kept our operating funds for lagoons. We didn't have to redo everything for heat and cold reasons also. We built one, 4 years later built the second one like what we saw in the first one. And I guess you guys can ask questions as we go, and we will expand. Who's second?
Hi, I'm Ryan Schrader. I'm from Mars, Iowa. I believe I was the first person to build a combination building through IQ Steel. Building here. The building runs north and south. Not very many buildings do that, but with my acreage, it seemed to be the best fit. There's 5 pens in the building. The first 3 are fully cemented bed pack pens. I start calves in those pens, or in the spring I put cows and calves in them to calve. And then the remaining 140 feet in the building is a 10-foot deep pit, and that's where I finish my calves. In fact, I just moved my calves down there now. I've got capacity of about 500 in that building if I'm finishing cattle. And mine was just, I had expanded my cow-calf herd enough. I dry out all my cows and calves year round. I need more space to go to, and I was not willing to do any more outdoor lots because it takes too many acres away from Iowa's $10,000 an acre cost in farmland. And my father told me, hell no, I'm not getting any of his $10,000 land to build a building. So that's I guess my operation. 100 cows I run, and I rotate in and out, and I finish cattle in there throughout the year.
Jesse Huff from Columbus, Nebraska. We have about a 600 head deep pit barn. It'll produce enough nutrients for about 400 acres a year. We got to pump it out twice. And then we also have a monoslope, completely concrete and inside and outside. So the first 30 foot inside is concrete. And then we added 80 foot this spring when we couldn't keep the manure or clay clean. So we're our second run of cattle on that group.
Larry Zobel from Bancroft, Nebraska. Our monoslope is 50 by 1,050. We have a bed pack, but we also let them outside. So when it is dry or we don't have time, we don't have to clean by the bunk, but we generally do clean once a week. About 990 feet under cover of bunk. So we have about 900 head in that facility.
All right, well, my name's Jason Owen. I'm over here in the corner, and we're going to try to make this as interactive as we can to talk about those barns. So the more questions you have, we're a little bit limited on microphones, so if you got a question, raise your hand. Either you can say it or I'll repeat it, and we'll let the panel ask it. But this is really why we're all here today, is to hear from producers that are already doing what we're interested in accomplishing. And regardless of what kind of facility or structure they build, you know, what it adds to their operation, and what the buildings, putting cattle on the roof has changed, and how it's affected their overall operation. And I think that's maybe the first question I want to start with, if anybody wants to field that one. When you made that transition from outside cattle to providing a roof under, or over them, I should say, what was that transition like, and what were some of the things or some of the challenges you dealt with?
So you just want to outline then?
And whoever wants to, you don't have, and not everybody has to answer every question. If it's something you can add to it, go ahead and ask the mic and we can go from there.
I would say the transition for us, your labor, you know when you're gonna do certain things. We clean once a week. We may, depending on time of year and weather, we bed from 1 to 3 times a week. But that's all scheduled, so we kind of know Monday morning, somebody's got to clean. So that part, as far as labor, everybody knows what they got to do, it gets done in a timely manner. Don't have to spray quite as much in the yard as the outside lots. Don't need to be there as efficiently getting that done to keep the bed, or the yard maintained.
Real quick there, I noticed in the picture, can you lock your cattle back up on the concrete, or when you talk about your dirt pits?
No, we cannot. We cannot lock them up.
Do the cattle kind of find the right spot for where they need to be with the weather?
Yes, I mean, it's hot, they're in shed, the storm, they're in shed, it's a nice day, they're out in the dirt. So that gives us the freedom. If they're locked up all the time, you'd have to be cleaning in bed. So spring and fall, when it's hot, dry, we're busy. We don't have to be in there cleaning and bedding. Gives us a little more freedom that way.
Would you do it again?
Probably investigating that now. Maybe we'll go to the deep pitted barn. I have a neighbor building a deep pitted barn right now. Would consider transitioning this maybe into a cow-calf barn and putting the finishing on the deep pit. Still takes time, labor, bedding, a little bit of yard maintenance throughout the year. The deep pits, it's going pump once a year. Edge, you know what the normally is. So that's the benefit of the deep pit, I guess. Like I said, it does different things for different people.
I would say a couple things. One is pins available 365 days a year, no matter what is going on. Also, when you do a projection on the cattle, you know exactly what they're going to do no matter what the weather. They're very consistent. An outside pin in perfect conditions will still be in, but they're consistent, and then the conversions are fantastic. The feed conversions are, because the environment never changes. There's no ups and downs on it.
Jesse, while you got the mic there, what size of cattle do you put? Because you got a 100% pitted barn, correct?
Yeah, generally we're putting yearlings in there. We like to stay away from the heifers because of the riding on the slats so they don't slip. We do sometimes put calves in there the first 2 or 3 weeks they come in. They're a little spooky to put them in there because it's tight quarters. We don't like to keep calves in there for too long because it's hard to pull cattle out of the deep pit. It's too slick in there for you and them.
And we've got a lot of different slat rubber manufacturers here today. You've got rubber on your slats, correct?
Yeah, we got the Comfort from Ireland, and then we also got Easy Fix.
Okay.
We pretty much start everything outside for the most part. Move it in, calves especially, I like it better. It's a lot easier to spot signals. I consider it a lot easier from my perspective to find it and get it out. And they kind of separate themselves out outside. Like in the inside, you're talking the schedule thing, that is totally right. I do bed pack, so I have to go bedding in every time. And we tend to do about every 10 days. Yes, I would do it again, relating to your question. Good question.
When you put the bedding in, does it seem like cattle go off feed much, or is it pretty consistent? You know, getting used to the bedding? You know, after about so many times of bedding, they don't go off feed.
The only reason they go off.
Let's repeat that question in case everybody didn't hear it. Well, go ahead. The question was bedding. When we bed, do the cattle go off feed? Do the intakes change when we bed? Is that the question? Okay.
It depends on the cattle, but yes, they do go off feed. If we use a ground up pallet thing, they do not. It's pricey to do. And then as corn stalks deteriorate throughout the year, in the summer when you blow it in and it's lousy looking, they kind of leave it alone. The bigger they are, the less they kind of don't go off feed, but yeah, they do go off feed that day. It can't be as much as 25% the next day.
So I guess I would agree with him. Cattle will go off feed some. I've actually read a lot of research trials that shows cattle in a bed pack barn are going to outgain cattle in slats every time, statistically, simply because of that extra palatability of the bedding. Something about when they're on a 60-week some mega cow ration, you know, and then they get a little bit of something to chew on. It really helps them, I don't know, frame out, I guess, put pounds on. We're talking like 10 through 2 right, for the rate of gain difference. But yeah, otherwise, for my bed pack, same situation. In my 3 pens, cleaning them once a week, bedding probably 2 to 3 times a week, depending on what I have in there, whether it's cows and calves or weaned calves or even fat cattle, things like that. The slats are sure nice because the first year I had my building, I put together a spreadsheet, clocking all the time I spent cleaning, scraping, bedding, and hauling manure, and how far I had to haul the manure. And I don't want to relive those numbers because it's an atrocious amount of labor and time. I mean, for 2 pens of slats, you know, I pump it one day in the spring, one day in the fall, so in 2 days all my manure is gone. There's no other inputs in labor other than feeding, maybe treating a few that need to be pulled here or there. And yet you're talking basically 2 days a week, year round, just for 3 bed pack pens of maintenance, when you add up all those hours. But yes, I would definitely build mine again. If I had the money, I probably would have built 2 separate buildings because then I would have had a slatted building and a bed pack building for both versatility. But in my situation, I didn't have that availability. I went with what I was financially able to do. That gave me the benefit of both.
Any questions that we have? We talk about bedding and compared to the deep head barns. How are the guys that are bedding? How are you taking the bales in, letting the cattle move them around, or are you using a blower? What kind of equipment is required for that?
So I had a skid loader already when I built the building. So for the first 2 years, I hauled the bale in each panel of the skid loader, cut the net wrap off, and shook the fork until sometimes the spear broke, you know, with the frozen twin stock bales. You guys probably know how that goes. The bales froze, can't get broke apart. But I recently just purchased a blower, bale processor, a Teagle bale processor. I've had it about a month now. It just rolls the bale out and sticks at the blower, and I can blow it 60 feet in the building, no problem. Really happy with it. I've done some other trials with like the catapult, catapult veneer, but with the AccuSteel building I have, it sets the bale up way too high. I had to be really careful I didn't hit the building with the spout on that. When this Teagle sits about 2 feet off the ground with the bale. My spout is about 4 feet below the eave height, where the eave height's 14 feet roughly, something like that. So it works really well, and it actually shreds the bales better.
We're blowing over the top with a rotary grinder, depending on the wind. You can come one side or the other, you can move on the back side, just from north. We usually carry bales in with cattle in there, and eventually somebody's going to get hurt really bad. When you're taking that rattle off and the steers are trying to flip the bale, that's just something to do. So we blow to the top all we can. Late in the summer, bales get so crappy they don't want to go through anything, then you're carrying it again. You got to get the net rattle off, or else you wear it on your beaters, on your spreader. So that's what we do.
I'm not qualified.
We use the bale processor. We actually drive in the yard. We don't blow it over the top of them, with the top of it or anything like that.
We got a quick question here from Morgan. The question was, you guys use anything other than corn stalks? Have anybody used any wheat, any wood chips? Has there been anything else tried?
I do not.
We've done the majority of corn stalks, a little bit of bean stubble, and some wood chips, which is ground up pallets. The ground up pallets work really nicely at Fort. They last longer, cost a little more. For me to get them in the building on an initial, after it's cleaned, it's pretty simple. We go in there with a spreader, just idle and cover it. Looks like county fair. We run it through the grinder, it doesn't blow it as far, so you kind of gotta go from 2 sides.
So I mainly use corn stock bales too. I've done a little bit of bean good stubble. They don't blow through so well just because it seems like good stubble gets just really dusty and it seems like you blow more dust and less bedding. The second year, the fall of 2018, I got a call from a guy that grinds our hay. And he said that they were going to grind a tree pile for a city. So I got tons of wood chip shavings, basically for nothing, with the cost of freight. Actually, I really loved that. You know, if you go on my bed pack today, and if I dug all the way to the back, the bottom foot of the bed pack would still be brand new looking wood shavings on the bottom. They do absorb a lot nicer. The cattle had no problems with it. I was afraid I was going to get splinters in the cattle and stuff like that because I mean these are the big chips that you have at the fair. But that worked real well. The problem for me is it's just not readily available. It's not dependable. But if you can get a hold of it, it does work really well. I was afraid to try it through the milk processor, so I just scooped it in there. I had a pile right outside the building and grab a couple buckets every so many days and just throw it around in the pen and spread it out.
Ryan, I think you mentioned that you're using your building to cabin also on the bed pack.
Yes, so in the spring, like right now I have calves on it. Those calves will get moved down on the slats, and then coming here in January, I'll fill all three of my pens with my cows and calving.
Now, we're going to have a panel tomorrow with cow-calf producers on it, but the question was, how's your health program being in the same pens with the finishing animals or with the calves that you're growing before they go to the slats? Is there any extra health concerns that you try to deal with since you are finishing cattle? I'm going to say that.
Extra vaccinations. I guess I don't know what Nebraska has for like vaccination programs. In Iowa, we have a green tag program and a gold tag program. Meaning calves need to be weaned 60 days with 2 rounds of shots on the green tag and 3 rounds of shots on 90 days for gold tag. So basically, any cattle I buy, put in this building separately because I'm calving into 2. I do require them to be gold tag. The longer they're weaned, the more rounds of vaccines they've had, the better chance I have of not having any health challenges. First 2 years of my building went very well. I had no issues. This is my first challenging year. I was 100% calved, had everything on the ground, live, healthy. And about 30 to 45 days after I dropped my last calf, I started dealing with a lot of patch belly problems. We did all kinds of different shots, vaccines to help the calves, and I just could not get rid of it. I did lose a substantial amount. And I guess the ironic side of that is it was strictly for my young cows. Only 1 and 2 year old heifers, 2 year old heifers. Anything 3 years old and older, I had no health problems in the calves. So that just thinks it was above those younger cows when I didn't have any immunity to, I guess.
You got another question here?
I was just wondering if you all have all solid concrete floors with your deep bed barns?
Yes, mine is 100% cement.
I got 1,050 foot of concrete.
No, there you've got dirt, so the cattle on your facility can get off that concrete. When the weather's good, do you see them have a preference to the concrete versus bedding or concrete versus bare concrete versus bedded concrete versus the outside pins? Is there any difference? Do you see a preference for the cattle? Cattle show a preference for the footing that they're on.
So your question is if they prefer one or the other?
Yeah, we build some barns at times where we'll be partially concreted with some line pack on the back. We'll have some different footing options for the cattle. So not everyone concretes 100% of the barn out. So it's kind of hard. My question to get around to is, do you see any kind of foot problems? Because you don't have 100% concrete, so it's kind of hard to say if you have less feet issues versus a guy that's on 100%. That's kind of where I'm going with that question.
I guess I don't see any difference on that. We have outside regular dirt pens, and I don't see any difference between the two as far as foot problems. As far as the preference on where they go, it just depends on the day. A nice day, they'll be outside. A cold day in the sun, they'll be on the bed pack. Just depends on the day.
Feed once a day or twice a day?
We're up to once a day.
Okay. Any other questions we have? There's one.
Did any of you guys have dry or dirt and then thought it was too hard to clean, so you went to all cement?
Inside the building, you're saying, or?
Yes.
Not in my situation.
Wasn't taking that chance. I was gonna spend the money up front so I didn't have to tear it apart and redo it later.
I've got a little perspective now. We feed cattle, and with being part of Ackie Steel, we built some barns for ourselves, and we've got, where we put a ring of concrete around a bedded mound, and we never take the mound out. And underneath that, there's lime block. There's no concrete in the center, but we kind of ring that with concrete. So when we do clean, we either clean behind the bunk alleyway, then we have another alleyway in the back wall that we clean. And then when we take more manure out, we'll go all the way around that. We kind of call it a victory lap. But we have a barn that's got a pack that's about 4 foot. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit wider barn. It's a 67 foot wide. But yeah, there are some producers that can definitely do that. It just depends on how you want to bed and how you want to manage your manure. It may be more what Morgan's talking about as a composted barn. That center section, we never plan on taking that out. It stays pretty hard. That's where we throw the bedding on and we clean the water out, or the liquid or the loose materials that clean around it. So.
I guess I'm just curious about permitting with the DEQ. The confinement to me is pretty straightforward, but as far as the monoslope, I guess what type of permit? I guess in the pictures I didn't see any pits that you got to catch and runoff, but you're pulling what 900 some heads, so I'm assuming you're underneath the threshold of DEQ standards. But I guess could you elaborate on that a little bit?
On my page, you're saying?
Yeah.
I collect all that. I had DEQ permit for that outside. I collect all that.
That's one thing that we talked to a lot of producers historically, maybe up to 15 years ago, is that, the lagoon maintenance on the outside pits was a big issue in Iowa before where I'm from. The lagoons, if they were getting the maintenance that they're required to stay in the permit, that's another cost that you need to think about as you have those outdoor facilities, is what you're going to do with that collection of that water, and how you're going to maintain that lagoon type situation.
Question over there.
For the slatted floors, are you guys adding extra water, receiving roof water, doing anything to try and get water content up, or are you doing well enough off of your diets that you don't need to add water for pumping?
We got to keep it at least 2 foot down before we start pumping, and we just pump water straight into it. And they got to add, it needs to be 100 foot of water. Our pit is 12 foot deep approximately. We got to put about a foot of water so they can agitate it and get it to be liquid enough to take it out. Especially if we run a high roughage with calves on it. If we keep them on full feed, it's less of an issue. If we put yearlings only in there,
The 12-foot pit, though, you're still pumping twice a year?
yes, and it's full.
Is he,
So on the deep pit, are you able to pump that yourself, or are you hiring that done? And what kind of costs, I guess, is that roughly twice a year, I guess?
So we hire it done. They come in with 2 agitators and pumps. It takes about 3 days to pump it out. It's about 750,000 gallons of product. We put 4,000 gallons per acre, so we have about just under 200 acres of shot. It takes them 2 or 3 days. We hire it. With the honey wagon, it costs, $50, $60 an acre, but you're probably getting $140, $150 an acre of value. You have your whole years of band, and 3 or 4 years of P and K on the samples, and they're pretty consistent.
Ryan, you got anything to talk about the costs on pumping, or do you umbilical cord yours, or do you put it on wheels?
No, I would like to do an umbilical cord, but every person I've talked to, cattle manure is a no-no through there. It's just not liquid enough to pump through those up stations and drag through a drag line. So, yeah, mine's also hauled in the tanker, cost me 12 cents a gallon pump. And I actually have to rent my own pumps because the guys that are pumping my barn, they only do hog barns. So it was an introductory for them when they came to pump my cattle barn the first time, and they didn't know what they were doing. But we've learned really well, and I have to pump mine out spring and fall too.
You said how much was that per gallon? I didn't quite catch that.
12 cents, but what my custom applicators charge.
So that's 12 cents a gallon?
12 cents a gallon of manure pumps, yeah.
Okay.
That's typically they charge by distance, so if they're within a mile of your place where they're pumping, so 12 cents, 1 mile to 2 miles, it's 14 cents, 2 miles and up might be 20 cents. But yeah, it's typically in accordance with how far they have to go to haul manure.
Do you find the same thing that you get 4,000 or 5,000 gallons per acre?
So what I applied this fall was right at 4,000 gallons an acre. My sample came back, probably could have gone a little lower, 36 to 38. But the one thing with cattle manure is it might not be consistent when you take your sample ahead of time. The manure hasn't been stirred yet down there. So because of how my samples were the previous 2 years, I chose to put it on a little heavier, knowing that I was still going to dilute it with some water, because I had to add about 7,000 gallons of water into each bed. And I don't have a problem doing that because I have another pen that I collect all the runoff water from, and I just pump it up in the barn the day before I went home. And yeah, my 10-foot barn bed is plumb full. She was touching the slats this fall. I pulled the slats off and went, oh crap.
I was gonna ask that, you pull your slats, you pull your slats, or do you have pump out slats, where you pull just you just open you have to take a whole slat out to get to the pit?
We have a hole to go into.
You've got a pump out slat, you pull a steel or a concrete insert out of it, you can put the pump gun into. Okay.
6x6.
A 6x6 opening, yep.
Can I ask you before, what do you figure your cost a day is for feed, maintenance, and what other changes have you had to do?
Well, I couldn't honestly tell you the summary of all those costs in the building. The one thing I calculated when I was building the building is what I was gaining by building the building. And for me, it was land usage, space, inefficiencies. Cattle are going to be, just like these guys said before, very consistent. All the cattle I finished on my slats have gained between 3.6 and 4.2, depending on if they're heifers or steers that I finished. And even the cattle that I ran through on my bed packing finish have been the same. Where I'm comparing to like last winter, it was a rough winter, wet spring. I had cattle in an outdoor lot, heifers. They were from the same ranch, same pen. One gained a 2.0, the heifers on my slats gained a 3.5 or 3.6. So they just got to deal with the weather. So when I looked at building the buildings, it was all about efficiency and what I'm gaining, time, labor, and better food gain.
Consistency, I think, is really where that building pays, is it's consistent every day. It's same, what we tell people is you take the highs and lows out of that environment. So, you don't have the heat, or you don't have the moisture, you just have a more consistent environment to work with. Any other questions?
On the deep pit, how many acres per head? So how many acres does it take for that nutrient per head in the building? Yeah, gallons per annum will be another way of saying it. And does the building have to be empty when you agitate and pump?
So we have 4 pin, that's the last question first, and then you have to calculate out, do the math for me on the other piece. We have 4 pins, we rotate one out. The guy that pumps is scared one's gonna fall in there, we padlock the gate and everything. So we just rotate one pin out, and then just rotate it around and back in. So we run 600 head, figure 2.5 turns a year. Say 1.6 million gallons of, so I don't know, whatever the math is.
absorbing just the wetness in the building better than corn stalks does. And it was a lot easier to blow in through our other build processor that we had at the time. My dad had one. It doesn't work well with skid loader, but the building with straw basically then. But yeah, if straw was available to me, that would be a good option. But Northwest Iowa, you're not going to find wheat straw. And I buy what I got from Webb and South Dakota just because I wanted to try it.
Have you seen any difference between straw, rye straw, or wheat?
All I've used is wheat straw, so I had no other way to compare. The rye I did this year, I chopped. I was never going to get it that far along. I just did that as a cover crop. Jason in the corner.
Is the bedding condition going to vary by season, and how much does the bedding management change by winter, summer?
So in the wintertime, our bedding pack will get as much as 350. Over the summer, we don't bed as much, so that bed pack will be down to about a foot. And now we're up to about a foot and a half, and let's start bedding back up.
I think one of the questions we've got here down on the list is, obviously the guys in the pits, we store our manure under the slats until we pump it out once or twice a year. The guys that are doing the bedding pack barns, what are we doing with the manure? Or are we stockpiling in the field, we stockpiling inside the feedlot? Premise, what are your plans, or how do you handle that manure once you take it out of the barn?
You said on the bed pack?
Yeah, on the bed pack.
Like I said, we scrape once a week. Means we have that outside pen, we'll just push it to a pile there, and then when we get time, we'll take that either direct to the field or direct to a stockpile.
We've got a stockpile back in our feedlot area with the triangle, and it still goes through the lagoon system, so the runoff stays there. But we go to the field if we can, through the winter, through the spring, but then all summer we stockpile everything.
Any other questions?
Just three, you got that root water, we put a lot on, or you do root water, switch to grader,
I'm used to what I've got. I'm not saying I wouldn't look or consider it. I look at it. Yeah. I'm thinking the results would be similar. I don't know that for sure. But yeah, if I could justify right now getting rid of 3 more bins and putting up another one, I'd do it.
I think so everybody here, that the question was, would you build a fabric building, or would you build a steel siding, or what, looking back on it, what choices that you made, what changes would you make to them? I guess we can maybe open that up for all sorts of different aspects of the barn.
So I guess my barn runs north and south. Pretty much every contractor I spoke to ahead of time that was giving the barn wouldn't build it. They were all afraid I was going to have poor ventilation, and I would hate them for it. Or I'd have steel rust or whatever else it may be. And that's how I kind of came to AccuSteel's approach. Started looking at their website, and they talk a lot about how the barn ventilates. And regardless if it was north and south, it would still ventilate. And I'm a believer that yes, it doesn't make any difference in your building as long as you don't get too wide. Any building, any of our buildings, if we would have made them too wide, you reduce your ventilation. It's a big difference if you do a 100-foot deep mount slope or a 60-foot deep mount slope or gable or whatever. The air still has to have the same length of travel. So I would definitely build mine again just so I had it. And like you said, if I had money, I would eliminate the rest of my outdoor pens and put something else. Not saying that again, I would consider us a stick building of some kind.
As far as the building itself, the older one, the building's not deteriorated at all. The gating inside has. So, the key to that, I'd say, is put paper posts in when you're doing them, use the heaviest gates you can find.
Mine's a steel building, so I've seen no problem so far. I guess my question to these guys, how long is the fabric going to last? That would be my question. And that's, I looked at the hoop barn before I went steel. That was concern was, will it handle the wind and the time and so on, will it deteriorate? But when they're less than 10 years old, you can't answer the question like that. Is yours 25 years? What is it on a 25-year-old cover?
Our moderator.
Warranty, what, huh?
It's warranty laws and stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're a little bit better than TLI. No, with all seriousness, and this isn't, I manufacture buildings, so I hope to pay for my kids' education piece. So take that into account when I'm going to say next, but there are producers out there that have had steel roofs that were in place. Now, some of that's been to the construction side of it, and some of that's been to corrosion on it. A lot of the buildings that are a little tighter than what maybe Larry has is they put an insulated roof line in to help keep that water off it, because the buildings will still trying to save water. That's one of the advantages of the fabric. And I'm not here to turn this into an infomercial for fabric, but there's advantages to both. And the reason why we, from AccuSchool's perspective, and mine personally, is we want education. We want people to come here, learn, listen, see what the different building types are. We're not all things to all people. No building supplier will be. So find a building that meets your needs. Go out and look at producers' barns. Come to things like this. Go on a tour. One thing I love about the cattle industry, I think almost everybody that we've dealt with has been very friendly to let us come back to the place, to bring people back to it to see how you handle working facilities. And that kind of leads me to my next question, is how we handle cattle when we need treated, or where we process cattle when they come in, or how do we load in, load out? Are we doing that inside the barns? Are we doing that outside? Do we already have existing facilities that we're working through? What's some of the mentality or methodology that we're using to work cattle inside our systems?
Well, we're working and loading out of existing facilities. We walk them out up to it. The one thing compared to getting cattle in from an outside bin to out of the building, 95% of the time, only two guys can do it. There's always that 10% that can go bad. But for the most part, consider confinement. You can have a very energetic set of guys, put that mildly, that they calm down. When you're in there cleaning waters, they're up there licking on you. If you're in the outside bin, they're gone. They're at the other bin. And they just get used to you for one. So we're working outside. And one thing I will address on the fabric versus the steel possibly is, I know we had a hailstorm 2 years ago, and I got $50,000 in damage to the house, machine shit, everything else on the fabric was bounced off.
I guess I do want to add to that on the fabric too. When I built my barn, it seemed like as soon as I decided I was building a building, my father decided he wanted to do one too, because he's been waiting 20 years to build one. He can never make up his mind between all the different options. And so both of our buildings are right at 2 years old. He built a 50-foot deep, 100% steel, I-beam steel roof, long slope, deep bedded barn, and I can take pictures of the rust and the steel on his roof already. And he never closes his curtain like I wish he would when the weather's bad or anything like that. He says wind ventilation's always good, and he did spend a lot of money on steel, even with the thickest gauge roof steel you could get, and he also added that paper that was on the bottom of the steel, I don't know what they call that.
A no-dirt liner, I think is what they call it. Yeah.
And he still has rust spots showing in his steel in 2 years. Now, whether that'll cause a problem for 25 years, who knows, but I like to give him a hard time about it, but his buildings wear out faster than mine. And he just says, well, you spent more, yours should last longer, because they're good. I guess as far as my working facilities, I had put new ones in, and I put a corral right next to the building. So I have an 18-foot wide alley in front of the barn, and right in the middle of my building is my entrance to my corral. So the cattle only have to walk half the length of the building to go in the corral. And then I've got a working tub and load out alley all right there.
In our deep bedded barn, a lot of times when we get up to about 1,350, 1,400 pounds, we're not ready to ship for whatever marketing reason. We'll pull them out for the next 30 days. It seems like when they get above that, it's too hard for them to get up and down inside in the square foot starts to run out on them. And when we do get them out, we gotta give them about a 20 minutes of playtime. They can find it there. They will rub up against trees on the way, they'll roll in the sand, and they gotta have playtime for the issue.
The question was on working facilities, for uses existing facilities, so you just take them out to the existing working facility.
Did you cover up existing concrete? Did you already go line where you built your steel, your monoslope? Were you already feeding cattle in that spot already?
No, this is a.
It was new construction. I'm not as familiar with Larry's barn as some of the others, but you know, a lot of times we'll have producers that'll have an existing feed apron that they're going to cover up, and that's something that, you know, some buildings work better than others for that, but that's what we talk about. The buildings can go different directions. We can still, a building will still add value to your operation, even if the concrete runs north or south, if it runs at cattywampus, you'll still have the ability to get shade, you can still create some airflow, you can still add value versus tearing all that concrete out and trying to re-pour new concrete because it's not going the right direction because somebody said a book. You can still add a lot of value to an existing facility or an existing feed apron. So there's not as many of those left, but if you have that opportunity, we can cover up barns. I've had some guys come in and say, well, I can't build a barn because my concrete runs the wrong direction. That's not the case. So that's definitely something to consider when you're thinking about adding a facility to your operation. Any other questions?
Are there any tax benefits for the food building over the metal building?
What's the question? Tax benefits over the two different building styles? Does anybody have any experience with that?
No, they like to tax you the same based on the tax structure.
The pit is underground, not subject to Nebraska property taxes.
What?
I said the pit is underground and not subject to Nebraska property taxes.
We've got, right before I get to your question, we built a building for Kinsey Manufacturing quite a few years ago. It was all on precast wall systems. And John Kinzenbaum fought with the assessor's office for about 2 years. It was all precast, it was all portable, and they finally got him on the electricity, put electricity in the barns. So, but then he unhooked the electricity and put in generators. So like he told me, I think he paid more than the lawyers and what the taxes would have costed, but he made his point, so he won that battle.
What's one thing each of you would change if you had to change something, or is there anything you would change about your barns?
Well, I may do this yet, but create an environment where they can go outside sometimes and do
I guess I don't have anything that really changed right offhand.
My only change would be just segregating and, just isolate the fence separately.
Don't let your cattle fall in the pit. Pretty much it. Like you mentioned, those 2 separate curtains is what I would like to have done. One of my issues with running north and south is when I get a big rainstorm, any type of heavy rain, the wind blows out of the east. I get a lot of rain that blows off the roof and back into the building. And I debated about whether I should run a curtain on my east side too yet, especially like in the spring. Sometimes the blizzards change and come out of the east a little bit, and I get a lot of snow in there with my cows and calves too. Shouldn't say a lot, but more than what I'd like to see. And I think maybe if I added a curtain on the other side that I could close in severe weather, maybe that would alleviate a little bit of that, I guess.
Your barn's open on the south side, correct?
Yes, yeah.
So you get some of that effect of that sun in the sun.
Yeah, so the south end of my slats gets full sun all the time. That's why I left it completely open. I don't really have any issues with blizzards out south, even with the slats and anything like that, because it'll just blow right through or not blow in the snow, or wind will blow in.
You've got 2 pins of slats, correct?
Yes.
Do you see any difference in the wintertime in performance between the one that's got more access to the sun versus the one that's...
No, the only big difference would be the fuller you stock those pens, the less frozen manure you're going to have on top of your slats because they work the manure through, as that your experience too. So I guess you build a slider barn in the wintertime, you don't want to have full pen. Because they're gonna look over here, they're gonna walk over here and lay down, and that cow pie is gonna freeze like a brick. And I noticed from my first year experience, I had spots in my barn that were a foot and a half tall with frozen manure in places. I didn't, I had sold one load out of the pen instead of the whole pen. So now it's strictly all in, all out, something like that. And I guess that brings up stocking density. I don't stock as tight as what maybe you do, or what the recommended, what is it, 23 square feet, I think they recommend. I'm more about 30 to 35, and I'm actually just that high because of the bunk space. If I bring in like right now 700-pound calves where I'm starting on slats, they need a lot more bunk space, so I just leave it at however many head I can feed for bunk space, depending on the weight I bring them in.
Are you feeding twice a day then, or are you feeding once a day?
Everything is fed twice a day.
Twice a day.
We don't have the manure build up in the winter because of the rubber floors that we have. They push it through. Yeah.
One of my pens are full, I don't have that problem.
Yeah,
A little bit.
yeah. It helps with heat and
Any ice buildup in the pits, has that been an issue for you, or I've heard some anecdotal people talk about that, has that been any kind of concern in the spring, where there's been frozen chunks or frozen cows?
So not really so bad, but I don't know, when you pump in the spring, I tried like the 28th of March last year, mainly because my pit was full. I have 10 foot, you have 12. So we got her down about 4 feet, and then we came back in and we finished. But that was my own experience with frozen chunks, and it wasn't anything problem, but you could just see them swirling around in there, and I would say they're bigger than a basketball. They're probably 2 foot by 3 foot frozen chunks floating around in there.
usually the contractor comes up and plant in the spring, but we do have to trim tails.
Could you repeat? I couldn't quite hear that. What did you say?
We trim the tails in the fall and winter so we don't get caught in the slats.
I was going to ask that. You said those cattle got bigger, and you can start to tell them those last 30 days. Am I repeating that correctly?
Correct, but we do, the yearlings we bring, we trim the tails off.
Band them, or are you just clipping them? Or
Clip them.
Clip them. Okay. We had a question here on the additives. Does anybody use any pit additives? Any enzymes? Anything to help break down the solids or to make the manure more pumpable?
So I use a stabilizer in the fall, and it does help. You can put it in there throughout the year, throughout the season.
And that's for the nitrogen stabilizer?
Yes.
Okay. Does it also help break down some of the solids that you're dealing with?
Yeah, there's an immediate chemical reaction.
There is, you can see that. No foam has been created, or when you're pumping it, it doesn't foam back up or anything like
It
that.
actually helps.
It helps with that, excellent.
I do use an additive too. I use a product called More Than Manure. It's a 2.5 gallon jug. I dump about half of it in each pit. And if you watch YouTube videos, it's kind of a scary product. On the YouTube videos, you see them dump it in the pit and it starts bubbling. Kind of like cartoons when you were a kid, you saw like Tom and Jerry in acid or something, you know. But no, it does seriously help, and it does increase your nitrogen availability value in your manure sample as well.
I think we're getting real close to the end here. We have one more question from the crowd. Does anybody that wants to, anything else?
What about feet problems? Aerial works or things like that?
Did you guys hear that hairy heel, or if you got any kind of foot issues you've been having in the barns?
So I guess other than the occasional foot rot in my bed pack sections, I wouldn't say any more or less than what I would have in outdoor environments. But overall, I mean, I can't even count on 2 hands how many I've had to pull for feet problems, especially on my slats. Knock on wood, I haven't had to pull one on the slats with any type of feet problems. Like an injury problem like that. I do have some heifers, because I do feed a lot of heifers through my slats. When I get them up to 1,400 pounds, because they're on that rubber mat, they tend to, sometimes I get 1 or 2 of them that get curled toes. And that just tells me it's because they've been on rubber so long and comfort, they haven't had cement to wear that down or dirt or anything like that.
We're pretty
improvement's the same as outside, possibly a little bit better on feet inside than we are out, because outside we're fighting about for a little bit of time compared to inside.
With the padded floors, we really haven't had an issue with one of the rafters was just riding a lot. We had to pull them out and
I guess we haven't seen any difference in feet problems on ours at all.
Well, I think we're probably getting closer to the end of the session here. I think, I don't know, I'm not officially in charge of anything, but I think we're going to have the bar here. Once the open bar, it would be too expensive. But the bar may be open here shortly. And definitely put your hands together for these gentlemen. Producer panels are an important part of what we're doing to learn from each other. And really thank you for their time.
Okay, let's give a round of applause to our producer panel. It's a good discussion there. Jason's gonna come back up and talk about AccuSteel real quick, since they were one of our main sponsors, and then we have one more speaker, and we will be ready for our reception.
Okay, well, I overpromised and underdelivered on the bar, so I guess you get to see me for a couple more minutes. AccuSteel is, I own AccuSteel. We started AccuSteel in 2001. We're a company that does a lot of different products. Agriculture is one of ours. We have a kind of a salt group that we work with, so a lot of the road salt you see in the state of Nebraska is under AccuSteel buildings. We do grain storage, fertilizer, on-farm fertilizer storage, and raw fertilizer storage. So the ag market's a smaller part of our business, but a very important and something I'm very passionate about. Really, what we do at AccuSteel is that we try, like I mentioned a little bit in the earlier presentation, try to take the highs and lows out of the environment for cattle. We manufacture the buildings at our farm in western Iowa. All of our products are hot and galvanized here in Nebraska, at West Point or at Valley. We've got a heater track system that makes us a little bit unique in the fabric building marketplace, which is an individual fabric panel we've got out there in our booth. This is a commodity shed. I back up on that. This is, when we build our home finishing barn at my place, we wanted to come up with a way to put our feedstocks under the roof. And I really encourage anyone who is thinking about putting cattle on the roof, a great place to start is getting your feet on the roof. People don't realize how much shrink we lose with those feedstocks, and being able to get them on the roof, cow, calf, anything that's associated with livestock, really. We can keep that weather, keep that constant moisture in that feed. It makes a huge difference for our feed-out program. This is actually a picture of us working cattle in our barn. I can hold it there. We've got a north alleyway in our barn. It's a barn that's actually built for, we experimented with dairy manure scrapers. It's a technology that's kind of been developed out of Canada. It's here in Wisconsin. we had a couple barns that had chain scrapers. So if you're familiar with cable scrapers from old hog barns, this is actually used as a chain. And we did about 2 years of research on trying to come up with a method to handle the manure more mechanically and more automated. We don't currently use the chain scrapers. We found the manure to be too inconsistent with the barn. So what we do with this barn now is we bring cattle in for 4 months, and we start cattle in this facility. We use our north alleyway with a portable chute system, so we actually try to use our feed alley for both, not only managing the cattle, but we also feed in it, and then we work cattle in that same alleyway. So we start cattle in this barn for 4 months,